Hey y'all, if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you for tuning in again. And if you're not, I hope you like whatever this is. So let's start. I'm rocking the hot Cheeto makeup today for you guys. And this is gonna be sort of a story time about when I actually ran away from home. Well, not actually, more so kind of got lost for a day and made people get really scared for my whereabouts. So basically the reason this is a reduced video, it's because I had already filmed this years ago for a narrative class, and obviously it was in Spanish. And I don't know, that video turned out to be a success in that class. I thought it was kind of funny because I was more awkward than right now, I guess. Basically, it's the same story if you watched it. If you're one of the lucky ones who actually watched it the first time, then this is just a retelling of that story. It's probably not even gonna be as funny as that because I was just so embarrassed. And if you have never heard of this story, then you get to witness it right now. Okay, so it all started back in high school, my first semester, I think. I was about 15 or 16 years old. It was a Catholic school, so naturally the time came to start planning our confirmation. For the people who are not familiarized with Catholic practices, the confirmation is the process or the step that goes after you do your first communion. And I guess the first communion is when you're like 7 to 10 years old. Anyway, so we had to go through these preparation sessions and they had already begun. I don't think I ever got to tell mom about it, but obviously she already knew because she was talking to other parents. Anyway, so one day we were sitting at the table and she asked me about it. Mind you, you have to take into consideration the type of teenager I was back then.
Said certified freak, 7 days a week.
What's that certified freak? 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy, bring that pocket weed.
I was really into the whole system, God isn't real, religious is a scam type beat. I probably had just watched too much SLC Punk and Trainspotting, you know, but actually those were really good movies. I really want to rewatch them. So I told mom, no, absolutely not, there's no way I'm doing that. Are you asking me to confirm my faith to a religion I don't actually believe in? If I choose to do it as an adult, then that's okay, but leave me alone right now and I will just be so irritated and annoying. And mom looked at me aghast, like I don't know, it was like I said the worst thing I could have ever said. I don't know, like probably the second worst thing I ever said to her was that I was pro-choice, but aside from that, that was pretty much it for her. And she was going off about how she didn't raise me to be like that. Anyway, so we keep going back and forth, and so she gets just tired and she gives me an ultimatum. She goes, either you do your confirmation or you have to leave the house. And so with that, she stormed off and the rest of the family just really had to leave to run some errands or whatever. And it's like, okay, now we can pretty much understand that she wasn't literally saying leave the house. She was not doing, o sea, güey, no me estaba corriendo. Pero, like, it was just one of these things that parents tell you to scare you away from doing something or to scare us a little bit into getting their own way, you know? She wasn't literally saying, leave the house, but I was like, okay, this is my moment. She was defying me. I was really channeling just being this main character that we want to be as teenagers, just sliding my hand down the window slowly, and it's raining and Boulevard of Broken Dreams is playing in the background. Like, that was my fantasy, dude. And so I did. And now listen, this is the most embarrassing part because clearly I had a bucket of coins for brains and you'll see why. The list of items I decided to take with me to run away forever, nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, leaving no trace behind, to go chase my dream was the following. Get pen and paper. First and foremost, my entire collection of Green Day CDs. Like, who the even thinks in their right mind that, okay, I absolutely need this, I need my Green Day albums to survive under a bridge, we got this. Who does that? Who? Me. Also, like, where the am I planning to even play those records? I didn't even have like a portable disc player, so by the way, I still have those albums. I'll show them to you right now, I don't care. I'll turn this shit into a hole, I don't care. That was a classic. This is my favorite one. This is my second favorite one. the fact that I have bullet in a Bible and I don't even have American Idiot. That's the real scene. So much nostalgia. I have a few of Blink-182s. I don't remember if I took those with me. They're not as essential, I guess. I also took with me 1,500 pesos, which is about 70 godforsaken dollars. What was I gonna do with that? Like, I was not gonna survive. I mean, probably a week, but after that, what was I gonna do? What was my plan? I also took with me my phone, earphones, a few pieces of clothing, and I guess some hygiene items, I will hope so. So I hit the run. There I was, walking down the streets of little Lagos de Moreno with my backpack full of completely unreasonable items for survival. And so I kept on walking and walking and walking until I reached like a highway junction. Neta, si ubicas más o menos Lagos de Moreno, sabes que hay una carretera Aguascalientes, güey, allá por el Libramiento, creo. O sea, hasta allá andaba ya. Meanwhile, I had my earphones on, just blasting Green Day without a care in the world, living in my own little Hallmark movie. Even my friends were looking for me. My 3 friends, literally. About another half an hour, I think, or so, of walking and walking, I reached a ranch, or I guess just someone's country property or whatever. Y me paré ahí pues para pedir posada, güey, because it was getting dark and the very much postponed fear and reality check starting to kick in. Anyway, a lady actually saw me standing there at the gates, like just looking miserable, dude. She let me in the front yard just like to see what the f was going on. Why was I just standing there like devuelvan la tablilla? So basically I explained to her my situation, and God bless her for not laughing at me just now. God bless her, because there must be a God if nothing happened to me, honestly, at that point. And I remember she had a newborn baby in her arms, and she said she was only allowed to stay there, to live there, because she was working for the owners of the property. So basically that was like, you need to go on because you cannot stay here. We're not hiring, basically. And then she gave me a talk basically about valuing my family and just getting it the f together, because what the hell was I doing there? I was in danger. I mean, hello. And that woman grew up to be Bibi Rexa. So I decided to finally pick up my phone after like the whole day of just letting it ring, having all these missed calls. And mom was crying, saying how she was gonna pick me up with my uncle, that I just needed to drop my location. And so I did, and after like 20 minutes they arrived and I got in the vehicle. Dude, dead silence. Also so embarrassing too, because I was like sitting next to one of mom's employees back then, and she was just like sitting awkwardly there staring at me, like, you know, like when you don't want, like when you want to stare at someone but you don't want them to notice that you're staring. So she was just like, Güey, I felt so bad. I still feel bad that I put mom through all that unnecessary stress. Like, what the f wrong with me? And then when we got home that day, we started talking calmly. She said that she wouldn't force me to do my confirmation anymore. Like, she didn't want me to proceed with that anymore. And also made me promise never to do that again. Güey, pobrecita mi mami, neta, yo chamaca babosa, la neta. And I kept my promise too. I mean, years later I did go to Mexico City to see Green Day live at Corona Capital's festival. I don't know. Does it take your breath away and you feel you're so soft again? Ever been on? Seriously, thank you so much. And this is the perfect place to end it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I didn't tell her about it until after I came back because I didn't want her to worry, but I don't think that counts as much because I was already in uni, so I was not underage anymore. Let's just leave it at that. Bottom line, if there's any moral of the story to this, is dude, just do your confirmation, like who cares? No, but seriously speaking, if I've learned anything, is to just, some things you just gotta let slide, because just for mental peace for all of us. For example, I know at my big age, I don't have to do the cross blessing thing when we drive past through a church, but I will do it if I'm going, like if I'm riding with mom, because I know that would make her happy. I don't want to upset her for nothing, you know? I think you just understand, man, like not everything has to be a debate at the dinner table, like not everything has to be an argument. It's okay, you don't have to fight for your point of view every single time with your family. It's fine, they're not gonna agree with you, you're not gonna agree with them. I don't know, I just think as you grow older you really learn to compromise more and more on certain things with your family, especially with your parents, because it's just easier, you know? I'd rather sail smoothly. Amen. If you watched until the end, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Because I could push out a few more story times. I don't have that many, but you know. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, share. Ooh, this is literally more work than doing the confirmation. I don't even remember what to remind you guys to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications, leave a comment. I already say that. Thank you, bye, amen, God bless, whatever. God bless you.